Hey guys, this is Stu and Rudy from ProCivic.com again, and today we're going to show you how to install some upgraded brake parts on our old school Project 99 Civic EX. So we have some Hawk HPS pads and some power slotted rotors, and we're going to be installing them on the front of this 99 Civic. Okay, so the first step after jacking the car up and taking off the wheel you're working on is to turn on the car or to the on position and rotate the wheel so you have access to the bolts on the back of the caliper here. A lot of people don't realize that the brake upgrade is a pretty straightforward task. Seems intimidating, but we're going to show you it's actually pretty easy. You need to remove the caliper first, so I'm just going to take off this top bolt right here. It's a 12 millimeter, and then the bottom one down here, another 12 millimeter. Okay, so the next step is just going to be to slide out the caliper like this. And if you have someone with you, you can hold it, or you can just place it down in an area where it's not going to fall. Like that. Alright, so the next bolts we're going to be working on are 17 millimeter. They're larger bolts. They hold in this caliper bracket, and there's just two of them. So we'll switch over. And this, you're probably going to need a bigger ratchet than this. Something like this is going to make it easier.
Alright, so at this point we're going to go ahead and remove the caliper bracket and undo the set screws for the brake rotor. Usually there's two of them. On this one we only have one, and it's real handy to have an impact driver for this, as these could be pretty, stuck on there. So these get pretty seized also. You can try hitting it here on the face, just make sure you don't damage the studs, also around the surface. And if you're going to be getting rid of these rotors, you could also hit it on the back. So after giving this rotor here a few love taps, basically it's going to just break loose, and you'll be able to remove it. And then from here, whenever you're doing a brake job, you want to make sure there's a nice smooth surface on here. You can use some sandpaper, maybe a Scotch-Brite pad, or a wire brush, whatever you want to use. But you just want to make sure there's no hard bumps or ridges here, just to make sure that everything goes on smoothly. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and install our new rotor. We're going to remove any kind of light grease or oil that's on here to prevent rust during shipping and all that. And then we're going to set our little set screw on there to hold the rotor in place. You want to use a just standard brake parts cleaner and a Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and compress the piston here for the caliper. You're going to want to push that back in. There's a few ways of doing it, but one of the easier ways is by using this compression tool. Just set that on there. Put one of your old pads on here. Start pressing it in. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and reinstall the brake caliper bracket. And before we do that, we're going to go ahead and use some of this grease. You always want to use some kind of a grease to kind of keep the pad noise down, and also to have them engage a little bit better. You're going to want to lube up the edges here, just so that they slide on the bracket a little bit easier. And here I'm going to install these brake pads with the one with the sensor goes on the inside. On some cars, it's best if you can to put the sensor on the outer pad. That way, if you ever want to inspect your brakes, you'll be able to see the sensor if it's touching the rotor or not. Alright, so next step is putting the brake caliper back on. Like we did earlier, we compressed this piston in. We found that on some cars, or in this one in particular, you actually can do it by hand, so you don't really need that tool, but it does help. The last thing though is once you put this on, we're pretty much going to be done. And you want to make sure that you torque all your bolts both for the caliper and the bracket to factory specifications.
Alright, so that wraps up the install for this video. As you can see, the rotor looks a lot better now. It's not rusted out. It's got a nice plating on it that'll keep it looking good. Couple important things. You want to make sure to pump your brakes before you start driving. You won't have any brake bite right now. You'll notice the pedal goes all the way down. So just make sure you do that. And then there's also a bed-in procedure, which we have in detail on our site. That basically just primes the brake pad friction surface with the rotor to make sure you're getting the maximum performance out of them and safety. So again, these were the power slotted rotors and Hawk HPS brake pads, and we installed it on our 99 Civic EX. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and make sure to subscribe to our channel. We'll see you again next time. Bye.